Chapter 2 of Digital Healthcare. I'm going to review the PowerPoints in my videos here. You guys, obviously, you can read the chapters, and I'm just going to highlight some of the information on the PowerPoints because you can read that too. Always just let me know if you have any questions. This is just an overview. The objectives are listed in the PowerPoint. Healthcare informatics. It's a field of informatics that integrates technology and various health sciences. This arena of healthcare has come such a long way. Electronic health record systems is something that came about early in my career. I used to, believe it or not, as a nurse, I used to chart on paper, and the patient's like daily record would be in a little cubby right outside their door. That is how it was in nursing 25, almost 30 years ago. And now we have moved into electronic health records. If I had to guess, my hospital system adopted that probably 2000, 2002 maybe. But anyway, I digress. We've come a long way, I guess is what I'm trying to say, using electronic digitization to have a streamlined impact in healthcare. This is a huge thing. Hint, hint, this is something you might even want to consider as a career. Like, even if you want to start as a nurse or pre-med or anything healthcare related, dental, physical therapist, you could always end up in the informatics realm because the need for people to work in this arena is just going to continue to increase. So anyway, using big data, predictive analytics, we can track disease trends, make predictions. Please know that we fully relied on um, informatics during COVID, when we were doing tracing, when we were doing side effects, when we were doing what medication works, what medication didn't work, the vaccine, so much information. Honestly, it was so much, it's going to take a while for us to finally get the actual end results, right? Like, you just don't get that type of research data within 2 to 3 years. It's really going to take five, seven, even longer. It's going to be interesting, if we compare what we know now about COVID compared to even what we knew 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We look at how far we've come and the information we have. It will be interesting to see where we are in 5 more years with that experience and the results of what we've learned. Okay, so healthcare informatics evolution, I was just talking about that. So early adoption of electronic data recording began in the 60s. Isn't that interesting? And again, my hospital did not implement or adopt the electronic health record until 2000, right? So just think about that. That's a 40-year difference in when something is started versus when it is actually implemented fully. The High Tech Act, oh, I wonder what year that was, prompted healthcare facilities to adopt electronic health records. They got incentives. We had a certain time frame. Let me go back. I think we had until 2005 or 2008. It was mandatory, one of those years that you had to be electronic by then, or you wouldn't receive funding or you wouldn't get paid. So anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But again, healthcare informatics has come a long way. Medical informatics, precision medicine. Precision medicine targets patients' needs based off of a personalized care plan, right? Personalized genetic makeup, psychosocial characteristics. What is this person, what do they need compared to the next person? Not everybody is the same. So that's where we're going with precision medicine, and medical informatics and healthcare informatics and all of things are allowing us to do this, to know the patient exactly what they need. Domains and subfields, AI, yes, machine learning. Oh, there's so much to this. Nursing informatics, that's something I teach as a nurse myself. I've taken these courses, and the data integration, the research, nursing in itself, there's an entire science of nursing separate from medicine. Nurses are very different than doctors. And it's awesome to see what my fellow nurses are researching and the data that's coming out, what they focus on compared to medicine. Pathology informatics, yes, and it can improve access. Did you know, by the way, speaking of pathology, like the company LabCorp, we as healthcare consumers can just go to a LabCorp and pay for specific tests that don't necessarily require a doctor's order. I thought that I learned that recently. That was pretty cool. If you want to check like maybe a basic sugar or a basic cholesterol, you might have to have an order for, no, I don't think you do for cholesterol. But anyway, that's where we're going with pathology informatics. And you walk in as a customer, you pay for it, you get the lab draw, and then the result comes to your little LabCorp app. So think about that for a second. That's pretty cool where 5 years ago, you had to go to the doctor. The doctor drew the blood. The doctor received the information themselves. You didn't have access to it. So, pretty cool how we're coming along. Clinical research informatics. This speaks to a lot of what nurses are studying. Oh gosh, all kinds of other exercise physiologists, what they're studying, that information can be put into the big data analytic type of platforms, and you get new key results. Um, Imaging informatics with our healthcare systems, one example I can think of with this is dental. I don't know if you've been to a dental appointment here in the last year or two, but some of the new imaging takes 3D pictures of your mouth. So no more of like the dental hygienist measuring or just, their personal notes in the actual system comparing your tartar buildup, your gum recession. No, now there's actually a picture. So the next time you go in there a year later or whenever, the image, the machine has saved that, so you don't have to rely on a person's opinion of what they saw in notes in the electronic medical record. There's an actual picture of it. That's just one example that comes to mind. Public health informatics, home health informatics. This is going to be, I mean, guys, we can wear devices that can track our heart rate and our body fat content, how well we sleep. Is there a heart attack, a impending heart attack, things like that. Telehealth applications. I mean, there's so many things that's available. Data management, data quality management. This is critical because security is a huge issue and privacy. If we put our data in these platforms, in this infrastructure, we want to keep it private. So how do we keep, um, let's just say hackers out of it and make sure that our information is used to the best of what we intended it to be for? But increased accessibility of specialty care through telehealth platforms. Speaking of telehealth, don't know if you've been to an eye doctor in the past 3 to 5 years, but last year when I went, there was no doctor on site in the office. It was all telehealth. The eye assistant is what I'm going to call them. I don't know their technical name, but that person did all the measuring, did the, you know, when I read the chart, the letters, and what I if I could see far away, if I could see close up, and then we actually dialed in to an eye doctor via the telehealth option. So that was pretty wild. Um, anyway, all right. So here's a conclusion. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I hope you enjoyed this course. If you can't tell, I'm a little passionate about it just because it's so exciting to see where we could possibly go with all this. Not to say that it's perfect in any way. I promise you it's not perfect. We've come a long way, but all the needs are not being met. There's always going to be room for improvement, workflow, outcomes. So yeah, just tag along, stay with us throughout this semester, and I hope you learn a lot and enjoy reading the chapters.